So when I uploaded my season 1 thoughts on the first season of Magi Labyrinth of Magic, my apologies, I watched season 2. So when that video uploaded, I finished watching season 2, the finale, basically all the anime footage for that show you could get. So after a few days after I finished season 2, I decided to go read the manga from where the anime left off, which is at chapter 199. So from chapter 199 to 241, currently at the day of the video is going to be uploaded 241, so I managed to finish that chapter off, and I just want to share my overall thoughts on the actual Alma Torran arc. I want to talk about a couple of things that might spoil the possibility for season 3, because we all know season 3 is going to happen eventually, maybe from a year or two, and there's like maybe enough anime chapters to actually be able to make in anime format. So overall, I will get a lot of things wrong. I know I skimmed through everything else. I'm at the moment I am reading it like, thoroughly, slowly, so I might miss a couple of things. I'm not going to talk about, each chapter individually because I can't remember all those chapters. So I'm going to talk about what did I think of the Alma Torran arc, or Solomon arc as I thought it was called, but it's apparently called the Alma Torran arc, and how it basically explains Solomon's origins, how Aladdin actually did have a father. His name was Solomon, and his wife Sheba. Now, I really had a hard time remembering Sheba's name, but eventually I did manage to get it down. Her name was Sheba. She was from the tower, where basically what happened was 800 years ago, during that time, basically the humans and the ogres and everyone were living in peace, right? Until one day all the ogres and everyone became savagery. They tried killing humans and everything else, and when there were like 500 humans left in the world, the human world was being started to extinction. So basically after that, the god Ilaha, I believe they call it Ilaha, like Ilallah from obviously Muslim, like, Arabic like language, Ilallah. So basically he came down. If you've seen the anime season 2 of Magi, you know the little black thing that came down on the ground that destroyed Alma Torran? Basically instead of that, it was actually white, full of white ruh. Basically, peace and everything else. It just touched the ground, and all the ogres and all the bad things in the world were gone, and like, Ilaha basically gave the power of magic to the 500 humans who were remaining, and with their dedication, they rebuilt the world and everything else with obviously the magicians. But as time, they were hoping to build a nice, peaceful world where everyone could live, coincide animals, everyone could be intelligent beings, conversation. But then eventually the magicians' agendas changed, and they wanted to control everybody else. The Orthodox government wanted to control everybody else for their own selfish beings. So they had these people with divine staves, basically staffs, as we saw. If you've seen Magi, also how Goken Ren actually, I believe, has a staff or whatever where she's able to do it. Goken Ren is a very interesting character. I want to talk about her definitely a lot more, because trust me, I just hate her so much after reading this arc. I swear to you, I'll eventually discuss why I hate her with a burning fashion, and then burning fashion. I can also see why Hakuru didn't like her at all too much as well. So they have the divine staves. Ones are able to do like many different types of magic. They have a Borg. Borgs are basically a way of identifying that you're a magician with these like shield you can use to do offensive attacks. That's basically what a Borg is. And then these divine staves. So basically what they use the divine staves for, they would use it for manipulating, use it for magic to manipulate all the creatures to be dumb and like, act like actual dumb savage creatures who would want to kill everybody too. And obviously they would manipulate and mind wash the children and saying that all monsters and all the people who aren't human are like, stupid and dumb, and you should obey God. And like, cause this whole like how, even I believe in these days there are people like, priests who always like brainwash the people to also, maybe not today, hopefully not today, but back in the day used to like do, they used to brainwash their followers to obviously, do every single, command of their, they would basically command them to do whatever they wanted. And it's very similar to this situation. Basically a character named Sheba. Basically Sheba was also the controller of one of the towers who make, mind wave, always use some kind of mind, like manipulating magic or some magic that like, make their senses of morality, and everyone else just disappear and just like be acting stupid creatures. And basically Solomon, who's actually Solomon Johnson, David's son, I believe David's son, elder David's son, who I believe was actually part of, I don't think he was part of Alma Torran. No, he wasn't part of Althaman. Althaman was informed during the time of obviously David and everything else. Eventually David, he lived for like 800 years and everything else. He just, Solomon did not like David at all. His purposes, his morals, his like reasoning, his agenda, he did not like him at all. So he left him when he was at the age of 12. So Solomon left his father at the age of 12, and he basically went on to basically form the resistance. The resistance group would try to overthrow the Orthodox government and try to create a quality world. And you can see that Solomon, obviously, since Solomon is the son of basically Elder David, the big king out there, he obviously, you always see what people call him King Solomon, since he's the founder of the resistance. But the thing about Solomon is he just doesn't want anyone to consider him a king. He just wants to be treated. He just wants everybody to be treated equally, like how an independent nation or like how a democracy nation is, like, these days. There's no king. He wants to be, the only person in the world to, he wants to be equal to everybody. Basically, what I'm trying to say. He wants to be one with the people. He wants to be equal. And whenever people do try to call him king or bow down to him, he says, don't do it. Just don't do that. He scolded people for not doing that. So you could see his nature of being try equal. I could say, I don't know, whenever I thought Solomon, at the end of everything else, I thought Solomon was kind of evil for what he did, but then I guess in order to purify the world, he had to do what he do. So basically, Solomon went to the tower and got Sheba, and basically he has an army of people who used to control the towers, the divine staves, and brainwash people, but he slowly brought them into the resistance, such as Itnahan or Arba, even Ugo. Even Ugo was in this, and Ugo is just, I loved Ugo, obviously, but with this, I loved him even more because how Ugo was obviously, we saw him in his non-Dejin form. Ugo was not originally a Dejin or a Daijin or, one of those people who are those blue, avatar type niggas in metal vessels or anything. He wasn't a genie or like a Daijin or anything. He was actually a normal person. He was actually King Solomon's king vessel and everything else. So, obviously, he was the one who made up the concept of the meta vessels. He's the one who came up with all these theories and magic. Basically, he was the, you could say, the smart wizard of them all. He was one of the strongest magicians. Even Solomon himself said that, he was the strongest magician. He is stronger than Solomon too. And after, everything else went down, obviously, we all know Alma Torran actually went to despair. So that's no spoilers, of course, unless you haven't seen it. I don't know why you're watching this video, even if you're not aware that Alma Torran went down. I believe they even showed us in season 1 that Alma Torran went down. So obviously, died, despair. Everything else happened to the world. The Black Rook took over the world and everything else. And obviously, the reason that we got to even see Alma Torran get, get made and get formed through the people of obviously the resistance group. Yes, the resistance group was Alma Torran. Not everybody, but certain people like Arba. Yes, Arba, who was actually King Solomon's teacher, person who actually helps him learn in sword play. And obviously Sheba's when she was really young, she was age 12 when she basically went there. Obviously she raised them family. Everyone else for 10 years. They're all 20 years. They're all family. But Sheba would feel alone. Arba would always be the one to help him with obviously. I don't think Arba was made. I believe that was Fallen. Yeah. Fallen was basically made. Everybody else. And we all got to see everybody else together having a fun time. Each year they would progress their dream, obviously, to take them out. But then eventually, the people obviously try to strike back, saying, he's the son of Elder David, the person who's doing all of this, taking all the creatures, doing all this bad stuff. So obviously, he would obviously what happened if we tried to do it again? We would try to do that with us again. And obviously, Solomon isn't doing that, and Sheba would always be there from time to time again to always help out Solomon. And eventually, also what happened was Sheba didn't like Solomon eventually, but then over the years, she started catching feelings for him, whatever, and eventually, obviously she got envious of Arba always being around him, even though it's nothing really special. He's serving his teacher, whatever. So she's her teacher and everything, teaching swordplay. So Arba told him that you should be the one to marry Solomon. So basically he said, you have to want to go to marry him, because later on what's going to happen after Solomon dies, all this stuff's going to happen. Solomon was the one king of the entire world, which is why obviously I think he wanted the concept of only one king. But we got to find out that Ugo's the reason everything is how it is in the world of Magi. Ugo's the one who basically made the concept of the Rook, the one who made temples, Daijin, who told the Dejins, I'm gonna call them Dejins for now, Dejins to stay where they are. If it wasn't for Ugo, none of this would honestly happen. And thinking about how he had such a huge responsibility with a world move. You have, dude, Solomon. He said, you know, Ugo, please, after Solomon died, I'm obviously moving from place to place because it's not formatted, just as my discussion, my thoughts on what I went, so my apologies for that. So basically, at the end where Arba and everyone else betrayed them and made, you know, their rook black and like evil and everything else, you know, obviously then they went, oh yeah, let me explain at least why, how the concept of black rook and everything else. So when Ugo was doing research about the rook, basically, you know, they took the shape of birds and is able to figure out that if you put your soul into like a shape, I believe it would be like a bird, like, you know, a white bird, and obviously like pure goodness and everything else. So Ilaha's basically rook was the one that everyone else was using, obviously, but then eventually what happened was that Elder David tried to take the power of Ilaha, basically. I'm going to Ilaha, I think that's the name. Yeah, Ilaha. He tried to take the power of that, go to like the world dimension where Ilaha was from, and basically take the powers of Ilaha or whatever and do everything else. But then Solomon, Arba, Sheba, and Ugo were there. I believe it was Sheba, Ugo, and Arba was there and else, and basically Solomon took the power after, I believe, Elder David died from Solomon's hand. So basically Solomon killed his own father. Afterwards he went there. His father told him that, you know, this is destiny. No matter what you do, you cannot change your destiny. Whatever you do is going to flow in the everlasting destiny. You know what I mean? Like, even though that showed me that everything they were doing, even if they changed it, it will never change. Destiny will always flow. Even if the flow of a river has been manipulated, they will always find a new way to flow, and that will either be worse or good. In most cases, worse. So that's what basically happened. After Solomon took the power of Ilaha, basically his rook was the one they're using energy from. So Ilaha was basically supplying all the rook to basically the people, but then after Solomon took the power of Ilaha, basically his will, Solomon's will, basically his rook was all over the world and everything else. So he eventually was able to keep a body, a vessel for 9, he would grow older and older, and eventually he would die, obviously. And afterwards, Solomon and Sheba obviously did get married. Obviously she was impregnated with Sheba's son, who she didn't mention first, was actually Aladdin. Yes, Sheba's and Solomon's son was Aladdin. And obviously Ugo was also who made the Magis. So the Magi, you know, concept, the Magi system. So basically there are 3 Magis. One of the Rem Empire, one of the Ko Empire, and one of the Great Rift. The Great Rift was obviously also where all the Red Lions, or the Finalists. The Finalists were the Great Lions, and so the Finalists were basically the Red Lions. So if you did not know that, basically the Great Rift. So basically the Great Rift will contain the White Dragon, you know, everything else, also the Red Lions, who are basically too powerful enough for obviously the blocking magic to take effect, because everyone else eventually forgot about Alma Torran after they moved to the New World. So basically the Great Rift was where the Red Lions or the Finalists were. So I must apologize, I'm not doing a really good job of obviously summarizing each chapter, but these events don't go as I'm speaking them, they go very differently. You know, there's a lot more detail in each chapter that you should definitely read. If you've seen Magi's anime, you should definitely just read from chapter 199 all the way to 41, or if you want, you can just read the entire manga. I mean, it's probably better if you read reread the entire manga, but I advise you to not to do that if you don't have enough time in your day, because it might take you a long time, because some manga chapters might be extremely long and might take a lot of time out of your day. Unless you have a lot of time, then by all means go ahead. So after basically the Great Rift, and then Ugo made the concept of the 3 Magis. But there's a fourth one, which is Aladdin. He is the Magi of Alma Torran. He's basically the Magi of, he has Solomon's blood. He actually has Sheba's white rook in him. Basically he was also, since, you know, he has Solomon's blood and everything else, and the rook, obviously that's how Magi is made, and Solomon and Sheba were both near. He basically became a Magi who is loved by the rook and everything else. So, and then, you know, how it happened after Aladdin's story was over, basically explain the events of everything, how everything went down. Basically, you know, they were saying the story, you know, how, you know, are you going to destroy the world, or are you going to save the world? What are you going to do? Basically, Aladdin said that you guys should not fight, because fighting will probably lead the medium and the Black Rook to come back again. And, you know, obviously they didn't manage to stop it, but the medium or the Black Rook, they're not they are not destroyed. There's some distortion feeling in there. Yunnan could actually feel the distortion feeling in the Black Rook, the feeling of everything else. Like, I feel it's going to happen again. I have a feeling that they're going to do it again, but it's going to be even stronger this time. And Gokkenren, let me talk about Gokkenren. if you've already read the chapter, you know Goken Ren is actually Arba. Yes, Arba is actually Goken Ren, because you can definitely see that, you know, you can see from the eyes, you can actually tell from the eyes, the feeling and everything else. Or maybe is Sheba somehow involved in this? I don't know if Sheba's probably, I don't know what Sheba is, her reincarnation, her like resurrection. I want to know what's gonna happen. I want to see Sheba, like, you know, maybe in the real world. Is she actually in the new world? Like, I want to know what's gonna happen in the next chapter. Hakuryu, he obviously killed Goken Ren or Arba, but I believe Arba might be in Judal somehow, because Judal basically had a whole personality change. He started calling Hakuryu Master, like he had his new powers, the power of the Black Rook, more advanced magic. Like, come on, dude, you must have had some kind of change. Dude, he's not the ignorant guy he is. He's a little bit ignorant, of course, that's Judal obviously, but obviously, I don't know what's gonna happen as well in Sinbad and everyone else. What's gonna happen to them? Are they gonna fight as, like, you know, the Rem Empire? I feel like I really like what the Rem Empire did. That, you know, we're not gonna fight the Ko Empire or the Rem Empire. They're not gonna fight the Ko or the Seven Seas Alliances. Like, maybe that's somewhat a bad move, because guess what? What happens after the two Titans clash? The second Titan is gonna come for the third one and just destroy it completely. That's sort of a bad move, bad business type thing. You should have really figured a way out of that, possibly. Well, maybe if you allied with, like, Ko Empire, you could take out the Syndria. You could take out Syndria. If you aligned with Syndria, you could take out Ko. But what's gonna happen to, like, Rem Empire? Like, you know, since Lady Shidri or Titus' original master died, like, you know, everything's been going to decline, everything else. Rem Empire is going fully well, but we cannot underestimate the power of the Finalists, because Finalists are very powerful, and the Red Lions were very powerful, and they still are, even as they are, obviously. So I wonder what's gonna happen in the next few chapters. Honestly, I have a feeling that a huge ass battle is gonna come out, and then I want to know what arc is gonna be after this one. Probably the Summit arc is already over, the Alma Torran arc, and all of these arcs are just gonna collide and everything else. I don't know, like, I don't know, I don't watch Naruto. I do not watch Naruto. My apologies for not watching. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I'll watch the anime one day, because it's almost wrapping up. Like, I believe in a couple episodes. Not a couple, but a lot more episodes to wrap up. What I meant to say. So basically, obviously, I remember a character named Sasuke from Naruto. Obviously, people are saying that Sasuke's reminding them of Hakuryu, or like Hakuryu's reminding them of Sasuke and everything else, and how like Aladdin, Alibaba, and everyone else would bring Hakuryu back, but they won't kill him. They'll find a way to bring him back, but not kill him. Maybe change his ways. Obviously, not. I almost said Sasuke. My bad. Hakuryu could be the Sasuke of the series. His mentality could have changed. His dreams are achieving. He wanted to split the Ko Empire into two. That's being achieved. He basically wants to, you know, he killed his mother, possibly. Maybe his mother is Judal. Maybe his mother is, like, you know, Goken Ren's, like, you know, maybe spirit of Black Rock could be transferred into Judal, since, you know, obviously she was the one who formed Judal. Everyone said, basically, it was Thama was the one who basically made Judal. Obviously, we saw even Ugo couldn't do anything. Since in the Sacred Palace, he can't really bring, like, Judal back to senses or anything, because Judal actually refuses to come with, what's it called? Ugo to the Sacred Palace and everything else. And Solomon's wisdom doesn't have a lot of bigger play. You got to find out the reason why Aladdin has Solomon's wisdom about Sheba, about his mother, father, Alma Torran, about why, you know, Aladdin's doing the things he's doing to prevent this war, this great war that could destroy everyone, because he keeps seeing, because Solomon's wisdom obviously allows him to see the past. He saw the past of everybody else also. Ithnan, I also did feel bad for Ithnan in a sort of way, because of knowing that everything that happened to him and everything else. And especially, I don't know why Arba did it. Like, you know, obviously she was trying to fight Destiny, and obviously she, like, you know, ever since the fact that basically Solomon took down Ilhao, but God, basically, you know, everyone just had a change of heart. They started hating Solomon, and I was like, oh, I felt like so bad when he said that, you know, I hate you, Solomon, and her final words were that, and like, I would have, like, you know, after all these years of teaching him everything, because that's the fine thing to say to your student, to your master, to your friends. Like, that just pissed me off so much, but that just made me sad at the same time. So, okay, this is 20 minutes, so I think that's all I'm going to say for the entire. It's not like a super long discussion. I think it's one of the longer videos I have done so far. So overall, Ugo's the real MVP, man. He made the entire new world, taught Aladdin everything else in the Sacred Palace, you know, obviously, and everything else. Now he's a guardian of the Sacred Palace. He had to become a Daijin himself in order to obviously, you know, be stronger. I have no idea how. Maybe I don't know how he became a Daijin. I really want to know how he became a Daijin or whatever. So Let me know what you guys thought of this entire arc if you have read the manga. If you have not read the manga, read from chapter 199, because I'm definitely going to read the manga again. I'm definitely going to be reading from like chapter 213? 213 issues, I believe, when the Solomon or Alma Torran arc starts, and from 199 all the way to 212 is the summit arc, basically everyone going to the summit and everything else. So be sure to drop a like if you did enjoy the discussion video, be sure to comment below what you thought, subscribe, and share the video with your friends who've obviously seen or read or done anything with Magi. And I'll see you guys later. Farewell.